Hello everybody, welcome. Welcome to another Monster Hunter stream. I hope you guys are doing well this evening. My name's Ristretto. If it's your first time here, then welcome by the stream. And if you've been here before, which I'm assuming a lot of you guys have, then thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have had a nice week so far. We had a nice podcast with Fallison a few nights ago, and then I took a night off last night for a couple reasons, but I ended up watching a good chunk of the Tim Rogers Action Button Cyberpunk review, which was pretty enjoyable. So I did not necessarily take the night off for that, but that is what I spent my night off doing. I got like no sleep last night. It was great. Hope you guys are good. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys some beans here for showing up right when we start our stream, which is a little later tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on over to the 3DS here. Uh-oh, there we go. Took a second. And I want to take a moment to say hello to you guys. Hello, Mart's Tip. I'm sorry you're having a rough time with light bowguns. Syphonia is a good resource for that. Hello, FPS Failure. I did indeed witness some information from y'all in the Discord. I thought that was some cool information. I didn't think that was too cursed. Hello, Syphonia and Harurush. Hello, Shadow upon the Tempest and Lassanid and the Digit Artist. Parsec Mech, thank you so much for 2 years of subs, but also just 2 years of being here and watching the streams and being a part of the community. I don't know, I would not be doing this if I didn't have enough fun, like, talking with you guys and learning from you guys to keep doing it, so thanks so much. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remembered it, Martz. I kind of vaguely remembered that. So I thought that was kind of funny that they were discovering that and talking about it. Hello, Walking on the Sun. Hello, Iced Tea Trinker. Crimson Gunner, thank you also for the sub. Thank you so, so much. Over a year on Crimson Gunner. Jesus. It doesn't feel like I've been doing that this long. Welcome Biotech, welcome Game God and Sparkle Wolfie. Sparkle Wolfie, I'm assuming you're lurking at work. But cheers, thanks for being here. Hello Kinesis. I think that's everybody. If I missed anyone, I didn't mean to. Hi Uchi. I missed Uchi. Welcome, welcome. Alright, well, let's play some 3U Hub. When we last left off, we cleared Sideus, and we cleared the last low-rank village quest. So now, we do have high-rank village unlocked, but we're gonna be waiting a little bit here to actually embark on the urgent quest to take on that new rank of quests there. We actually do have one more village quest, I forgot. We have two. We have a Sideus, and we have an Uragan. I don't feel like warming up with those tonight. We're gonna warm up in the low-rank hub. Did Sideus? I did, yeah. We're gonna do it again tonight because we have a new quest for it. But yes, we did. Were you there? I think so. I used Gunlance. Do you remember? How's your weapon collection going? Let me show you, Lassanid. I don't know if this is the most I've ever collected in low rank, but it's up there. We're doing pretty good. We have multiple decent options for all the weapon types, and elemental options like bow and sword and shield and dual blades have quite a few options each. I'm feeling good about it. We just unlocked a few extra fights at the end of low rank, like Barioth, Rathalos, Uragan, Ignactor, and so we'll probably snag some of those designs on our way through low rank hub. Yeah, I guess my plan is probably try and get through low rank hub pretty quickly. I feel like soloing through a few of those quests each night, along with maybe making 1 or 2 weapons, will see us through pretty soon into high rank village here. What's your game time so far? I believe it's like 92 hours? Yeah, 93 hours basically. Okay, let's see what we're gonna be doing first here, and I'll let you guys pick my weapon for it. Just gonna start soloing on through. This is our first time going to the port on our own, though. We've done some of these quests with Mr. Fallison, but we're gonna warm up by hunting a Kurapeka in the hub. I'm gonna solo all these quests here. While your hunter looks like he has a few years to live and die from old age, dude, this guy looks healthy. I know what you're talking about. Like, this guy looked good for his age. Look at that guy, suave. Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys pick my weapon for a Kurapeka here. Let me set that up. I said I was going to, and then I forgot. Spitting image of me? I don't think so, Kurata. It's good to see you, though. I do not think so. Kurapeka. There's not enough Kurapeka in the world. Alright. So, if you'd like to choose my weapon for a Kurapeko warm-up tonight, go ahead and type !ticket in the chat. And if I draw your name out of that raffle, then you get to choose my weapon for this quest. Hello, Psychotic. Yeah, at some point tonight we'll go and we'll look through our list of low-rank weapons and decide which ones we want to make here. Let's go. But yeah, I hope you guys have been having a nice week. Like I said in the intro, I spent a good chunk of time over the last 24 hours watching a long-winded review of Cyberpunk 2077 by Tim Rogers. Less because I care about Cyberpunk and more just Tim Rogers is somebody whose mind I really appreciate about video games, and I could listen to them talk about games forever and ever. Let's see, out of the last day, I've probably watched like 7 or 8 hours. No, I haven't finished it yet, Uchi. I've watched the intro twice. I've watched parts 6 and 7. I've watched the intro twice. I've watched parts 1, 6, and 7. No, 5, 6, and 7. I need to watch 2, 3, and 4 still. How long is it? What the heck? I think it's like it's an 8, no, it's more than that, Uchi. It's 8 parts, but some of the parts are more than an hour each. It's like close to 10 hours total of Tim Rogers talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and other things. Let you choose the weapon already? Hang on. I'm gonna go ahead and say last call. If you want to pick my weapon for my warm-up, go ahead and type !ticket. Sounds exhausting. I mean, it's split up into multiple parts, but it's really varied. It's just like, I don't know, if someone steeped themselves in all kinds of video games for years and years and years, and then decided to write about them for a living, and just go off the rails entirely with how much they wrote about them, that's Tim Rogers. It's fun. It's fun to listen to. You're gonna make me do a torch-only run? We don't do that stuff here, sorry. If you're looking for that, I would redirect you to Katnius's stream. Katnius does that sadistic stuff. I just play the game. Just use the weapons. It's OP, the best, it's not. Torch on Kurapeko? No way. Alright. Was that really low for you guys? Did that seem normal or low? Anyways, Kinesis. What would you like me to use? Good enough, you'd say? A little low? Kind of low? I wonder why. It's weird. It's a little low? Windows, what'd you do? Heavy bowgun? Alright, heavy bowgun on Peko. We're gonna use the Kurapeko bowgun on Kurapeko. I'm trying to think what... Okay, hang on, I gotta pull up the Windows sound settings. I think the game music is a bit louder than usual. That could be. Windows just loves to change sound settings on me, just randomly. No, I don't think it did that. I'm not sure what's up. Cheers, Karada. Hello, Jakes. Hello, Lord Castellian. Yeah, it's weird that the game music is so much louder than usual. It looks like it. Might just be where we're at in the port. I'll just leave it for now. I looked and it doesn't look like any of my levels are different than usual, so I don't know what's going on. Okay. Make a new pellet set with Ucanlo's heavy bowgun on... Well, oh, you're talking to Martz. I was gonna say, I can't make that. I don't know what you're talking about. I have 2 of each pierce shot in the box. Why is that? That's weird. Yeah, I have that happen all the time, Lord Castellian. It's quite frustrating, isn't it? Windows deciding that your freaking DualShock is the best sound output device you have connected. And good, Harush. Your arms are going to be sore. Yeah. Did you get it in opposite arms? I did not. I mean, I saw that they did that, Martz. I wasn't there for the actual moment where they had that finally finish. Let me make sure I have a power barrel on this. Need some Lagombi pellets to upgrade that. That's okay. For now, we'll just chuck the power barrel on. This will be appropriate for an early hub hunt, I think. I'm purposely not using my strongest stuff. Don't want to bully our way through low rank hub. That'd be no fun. Alright, playing with fire. Use your best hunting horn options, they suck. I mean, legitimately, we've only gotten to upgrade 1 horn because there's been no other horns with attack boost. Like, no other horns with attack boost and green sharpness. It's been a little silly. Okay. Hello, Ninja Frog. We're finally getting to a point where we have a good amount of Zenny right now, at least. That feels good. Let's see. What was I gonna do? I was gonna buy a pickaxe or a bug net. Okay. I already had coffee a little bit earlier tonight. But thank you guys for being here anyways. What are we doing today? We're beginning to solo our way through low rank hub. So far we've finished low rank village. Now it's time for low rank hub. This is the first low rank hub quest. We're also going to be collecting some more weapons, I think, from some of the monsters that we unlocked at the tail end of low rank, like Uragan and Rathalos and such. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Kurapeka's hit zones. I know where to shoot it, but I'm curious about its elemental zones. Yeah, let's look. So definitely weakest to ice on its wings and its head. Same thing, or sorry, the Flintstones on its head. Same thing, but with water, just a little bit weaker. We have both types of shots, so I figure we'll use that to break everything, and then we'll just finish it off with normal. Oops. Are there low-rank multi-monster quests left in low-rank village made available post-Cedeus? The only quest that unlocked post-Cedeus, Marks, was a Cedeus quest. No multi-monster quests. I didn't screw it up this time. A poll about weapon collecting Shadow upon the Tempest? Nah. Sorry. I know that some people like the progression portion of the stream more than others. I know that some people like the challenge quests, like we're up against a tough challenge and we've decided on some special rules and that's how we're going to do it. Some people like that part of the stream best. Some people legitimately do like the weapon collecting part of the stream best. I don't know if that's me. I don't know. Like, there aren't that many people who do, but I mean, there are some. It's all part of the playthrough. What's progression? Progression is just clearing through new quests, Ice-T. Clearing through new quests for the first time where we're letting chat pick my weapon, and it's often a new rank or a new monster that I haven't fought before, like a high rank Rathian for the first time, or a purple Ludroth for the first time, etc. That would be progression. Yeah, see, people do like the weapon collecting part, and I do too. It's just like, towards the end of every weapon collecting bit, of course, it's like, well, we've just spent a lot of time collecting weapons, it's time to move on. We're going to be collecting weapons while we go through low rank hub here. I think my goal is to try and do like a handful of low rank hub solos and a handful of weapon collecting each night. Yeah, our goal is definitely not to just zip through the game, that's for sure. And I feel like, I don't know, like I think it's really easy, especially if you're not collecting things. I think it's really easy to go through the game and hunt maybe low rank Kurapeko once or twice, like a couple times maybe if you're going to make a piece of its weaponry. But this way we actually get to experience all the monsters in each rank multiple times over, and I think that's important. So you know the differences between the ranks, so you kind of flesh out your impressions of each individual rank scaling and stuff. Like, I think it's pretty important. Have I listened to the full Crap It Spot Me theme? Yep. Yep, we've heard it in the soundtrack quite a few times, I think. That gun sounds sick. I haven't really noticed it. Let me pay attention to the sound effect. It does sound pretty cool. Hi, Gecko. It's good to see you. This game uses bloated values. Most of the mainline games do, and most of the explicit portable series games use True Raw. It seems to be a team-to-team difference. One that I'm not happy about. I don't care if they choose True Raw. I don't care if they choose bloated. I definitely like True Raw better. But I want them to stop switching back and forth. I've been saying that since literally the day Rise came out. I'm like, this is the last game. They can't keep doing this. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Yes, Portable Third chose True. Mm-hmm. Oops. Rise has True Raw? It does. Weird. Every Portable Series game, or not every Portable Series game, but every recent Portable Series game since Portable Third has had True Raw, and every mainline game, or every main team game has had bloated. They need to stop. Like, it's just ridiculous. Would I mod World to have True Raw? No, probably not. Should do it, you might mind. We're not going to be using any mods when we play through World. It's not our first time through that game. Someday, the second time we get around to playing through World, then we'll mod it. How did I first get into Monster Hunter and get hooked? It took me a couple tries. I first tried Monster Hunter out on the Wii when I was like 12, I think, and I bounced right off of it. I didn't like it very much. I liked the character creator, but I couldn't get used to the controls at all. Never beat Jaggy, returned it to GameStop. I tried out For You briefly when I first got a 3DS and also bounced off that one. I don't really remember much about that try. And then I eventually got into Generations. I don't honestly remember what exactly it was that made me stick it out, but I know that mixed set making was what really got me hooked. That's what really, really drew me into the series, was just making mixed sets with different skills in Generations on the DS. Yeah, after that, I don't know, it still took me a little bit to kind of really get into the series after Generations. I played through that game pretty casually, made some mix sets. I think I got carried through some multiplayer hunts by a lot of good players. I hung out in all the hubs, just playing random hunts with people, doing charm runs, stuff like that. After that, I actually took a pretty big break from the series where I didn't really play much Monster Hunter after I first played through Generations until World came out. I didn't even think I was going to play it because I didn't have a PlayStation or anything. I went like 2 or 3 days into that game being out and seeing little bits of it online. And I was like, oh, I don't think I could not play this game. And I went out and bought a PS4 and played Monster Hunter. After that, I was a little bit more serious about it. And I started kind of, I don't know, investing more time into the series and eventually decided to stream it. Yes, they are walking on the sun. Okay, he's headed this way, huh? I thought you played Freedom 1 because you really liked doing egg quests with no lander skill FPS. I thought that's what it was. Whoops. Helps if I have a shot loaded, doesn't it? Yeah, this gun, not a great choice. Martz, I don't know why you're freaking out when you can just make whatever you enjoy best and just stick with it. I don't know what this, like, need to make some crazy Hame set is. Does not have the pellets? Not this gun. This isn't the Kurapeko bow gun. I'm tired too, Ice-T. I didn't sleep at all last night. Hello, Quill. How's it going? It's going okay. This is our first low-rank hub solo. Go sleep? I did sleep this afternoon. So I've had some rest. I'm gonna have some more tonight. I'm not staying up all night tonight like I did yesterday. I didn't paintball it again, which is kind of silly of me. Alright, Okay, it's headed that way. That way is not up to the nest. It's probably back out to Area 5. Can you hear what you look for in an elemental light bowgun set? What's your ideal setup? Thoughts on bonus shot? Would you go for peak? Bonus shot's always a meme, don't use it. Especially in G rank, you can't find 4-shot volley openings. Peak performance or adrenaline? Neither. Boost attack, fan of combo pro? I like combo pro. For me, I would go element attack up, then raw damage up, then comfort skills. So something like element attack plus 2 or 3, whatever the maximum is in for you. Then Challenger 2, probably. Then Combo Pro. Something else if you can fit it. Any necessary skills you need for the ammo types you want to fire. Yeah, bonus shot is just not useful, and it makes your rapid shot volleys less viable against a lot of openings in monsters kits. It's just not worth it. Combo Pro is more worth it if you think about like each one giving you an extra bit of shots. That's what I would go for personally. But I'm also not some crazy gunner. Nice, Zelda. I've been eyeing the Quest 2. I saw some footage of people using it for like virtual desktop stuff, and I thought that was really neat. More so than VR games. VR desktops look really cool to me. They're supposed to like announce a new Quest in like a day or two, right? The new Rise collab comes out tomorrow. What's the new Rise collab? Is it Sonic? Oh, it was just here. No. Dang it. There we go. Oh, the Ghosts and Goblins collab? Okay, good. Screw Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, this 3-shot clip is bad. Well, we probably won't use this one again. That's okay. This is our first low-rank hub quest that we're doing with our gear, and not with Phallus and multiplayer, so this is my chance to get a sense for how the scaling is. Especially if I would bring like really early gear to these early quests. Might not need to bring super early gear to these early quests, which is kind of neat. I got you, Zelda. I'm reading the messages you got about the details about Virtual Desktop. Really enjoyed Tri-Heavy Bowgun. Bowguns in that game are supposed to be pretty unique. Oh, I thought I was going to be out of range. Yeah, it's pretty bad, Gecko. I still didn't paintball it. I haven't paintballed this darn thing once. That's pretty silly of me. Here's our Zeros. leaving? Yeah, it is. Bonus shot boosted volley of normal 2 is still less motion value than Pierce 3 and 4U. That's rough. Bonus shot is not worthwhile. I remember trying it and being disappointed with how unwieldy it made using what's supposed to be your primary shot on a given gun, on light bowgun, right? It made it really unwieldy to use. Not to say like there aren't openings, but it's like you don't want to be waiting around for openings to shoot. You want to be shooting as much as possible and keeping that uptime up as much as possible. So something that takes away from your ability to do that, especially in G rank when the monsters move so quickly and for you, is just like, it's bad news. Yo, we have a raid coming in from Mr. Jack McBride. Hello, McRaiders. Welcome. Welcome, folks. Welcome, Felix Cat, Crystal, SMAN79. Hello, Jack McBride. How you doing? How was your stream, man? What were you up to today? We're really poorly gunning a Kurapeka. Oh, hello.
Damn.
Sounds like it was an Alatrian stream over there tonight. I've not done World Alatrian before, but it looks cool. Alatrian attempts? Nice. What weapon are you using for Alatrian, Jack? Oh god, 2 shots. Yep, we gotta bring stronger gear than this. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Low rank hub scaling is thankfully enough where we can't just bring this kind of gear and get away with it. Dual blades? Nice. Dual blades sound like they'll be good for that hunt. Can Arzros even come up here? Ooh. Sorry, Pecco. Well, good job, Jack. It sounds like a tough hunt. Well, we won't scale our gear down as much as we did this quest next time. Not used to struggling with it? That's a good feeling to have in World, I bet. That fall wasn't very graceful? No, not really, was it? My cords for this poor 3DS are all tangled up today. It's frustrating. Here, 1 second, I'm gonna fix things. The music's gonna cut out for a moment, I'm sorry. Oh, well, sort of. Okay, there we go. The music was cut off, sort of. That was the 3DS into my microphone. Or the 3DS speakers into my microphone. Nice, 2 Flintstones from the same quest is always good. Look at that kill screen in between the menus there. Just us blasting poor Kuro. Some 2008 YouTube audio, You'll get tomorrow, you believe? You got it, Jack. Props to you. Sounds like a not easy hunt. And thanks again for the raid. I really appreciate it. Folks, if you want to watch someone who is tackling some of the tough challenges in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, please go follow our friend, Jack McBride. Okay, so that was Kurapeka. What's next? Deliver 2 wyvern eggs. Love being challenged for the first time in years. Yikes. Sounds nice. Wish transcoding was on all streams because it makes it hard for your poor laptop to watch. Most streamers can get it. You just have to reset enough times at the beginning of your stream. Like you have to kind of shut your stream on and off and on and off and on and off until it finally shows up on your stream. It's just randomly applied, even for me. If you ever come into the stream really early and you see my stream going up and down, that's why. I'm making sure I can get folks transcoding. It's annoying, it is. Hello, Mazitsune. Alright, let's deliver some eggs. Actually, there's somebody with some dialogue here. Great timing, yeah? I have a little present for you. One of your friends told me to give this to you. I can't say which one, but please just take it, okay? Chum Chum ticket, placed in pouch. Interesting. It's something that most people don't talk about, Marks, but it's a pretty big deal. I mean, like, when you think about the difference between somebody being able to load your stream smoothly and not, it makes a pretty big difference for folks. Nice. Got a ticket. Okay. Wyvern conservation. I'm gonna pick up 2 eggs. I like this canteen. You know, I do feel a little sleepier than usual. Which I wasn't expecting. Yeah, Tanzia is still pretty cozy, Mark. Luckwhack does seem neater, just from the footage I've seen, but... it still seems nice. Maybe I should have expected to feel tired the night after not sleeping, Quill, but I don't know. I had a nap. Shouldn't feel tired. Come on. Alright, 2 wyvern eggs. Have you considered sleep? That comes after this stream. After this stream, I'm gonna go sleep. What if it was before rather than after? I did sleep before the stream. I'm also going to sleep after the stream. What if it was during? Can't sleep during the stream. What are you, crazy? We might get partnered then. We'd have to look out. I don't want that to happen. Stream yourself sleeping? That is against TOS. Is it? It is. When people sleep on stream, they're either just not actually sleeping or they have somebody else watching over the stream for them while they're doing that. Essentially, Ice-T, the thing that would violate is you need to be there and properly moderating your chat at all times while you are live. If you're not, then that is, and like if you're negligent in moderating and like being there to observe and moderate your chat, you are against TOS. Is it against TOS to stream an old VOD of yours as if it was live? No, you just have to be there moderating the chat. That's what mods are for. I don't know. I think it might be like specifically they want the broadcaster there at all times, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Or at least a broadcaster there. Actually there at the stream. Oh boy. They've relaxed the sleeping rules some. If it's planned like in a subathon, it's okay. Okay. Such a goodie. It's a good song. How is the volume on that for you guys? Because it looked kind of low. I'm like, it seems like all of my desktop sources are maybe lower today than usual, and I don't know why. Windows is a mysterious beast when it comes to freaking audio. It's such a mess. Sounded fine to you? Okay. It was good to you? Okay. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate that. I've said this a lot in the past, but I freaking never want to take for granted that I can just ask you guys if things are sounding and looking okay, and you guys can tell me, because man, that is something you should not take for granted. When I first started streaming, it was like, I don't know, every time I started the stream, I'd be like tuning in on 2 different devices and checking the levels and making sure everything was working okay, and like anytime there was something wrong, I'd have to stop and like pull up the stream on another device, and just thank you guys so much for being here. For many reasons, but like that's one I don't want to ever forget. There's a Rathian here? What? You don't say. Really need a mic that doesn't require you to be 0.5 inches from the mic to be at the right sound quality and volume. Yeah, it's tricky. The other night I was listening back to our cast and I was like, you know what? Fallison's mic sounds a fair bit nicer than my current setup. I really need to get some sound dampening in here. Like, I think, I don't know, while you can't hear like a giant reverb when I speak, the difference in terms of how much reverb there was very noticeable to me when I had another person who didn't have lots of reverb in the same call. I was like, might be time to spring for some sound dampening in here on these big echoey walls. I'm pretty pleased with this mic though. This mic is not expensive. Okay, enough of the scat cat fever. Which mic do you use, if you may ask? It is an Audio-Technica... Hang on. I'll have to look it up. It's been a minute. I'll let you guys pick my weapon for the next quest, though. We're going to go ahead and hunt a Baroth. We're going to do Leading the Charge next. So, give me a second here. Cue that up, and then I'll figure out what mic this is. It's one they like don't make a lot of, or like it's not produced and as readily available as some of their other ones, but it's like not a particularly expensive one. It's just the right kind of microphone where like over here, you like it doesn't pick up noises nearly as much as it picks up right here. I forget what that's called. There are different types of microphones, and I learned what they're called, and I forget them because I don't spend lots of time reading about microphones. But you want a mic like this, where like it's very directional, very directional. Not something where you don't want something picking up lots of room noise from like across the room here. All right, let's see, bear off here. Okay, if you want to pick my weapon for a bear off, go ahead and type !ticket in the chat. Let me see, I should be able to find out right here in OBS. Yeah, AT2005 USB. Let me find a link to this thing. The interesting thing about this guy too is that it's been around for a while. They've actually just raised the price on it. Like, these used to be like $30 or $40 microphones. They charge $80 for them now, which is ridiculous. It's just gone up in price over time as they've realized, like, oh yeah, it's actually a pretty good microphone. Like, folks need a decent one in like that price range. It's lame. There are multiple mics that are the same as this from other brands even. So hang on a second. Yeah, Samsung Q2U. Samsung Q2U. I've had this exact microphone from a different brand. Yeah, the Samsung one, just as good. Like, literally the same buttons on it and everything, like the same shape, the same ports, and the same layout. It's literally just like a clone. 69. Why are they so expensive? I don't know. I'm always looking on eBay for stuff like this, but I don't know. I got a pair of them for $40 last year, which felt like a steal on eBay, which is super nice. They're even pretty pricey on there. That's lame. Because, like, they're nice mics, but if you're spending close to $100 on microphones, I imagine it's like you can choose between a lot of different stuff at that point. They went up over the pandemic. I suppose that's probably true. A lot of folks needed better microphones. In any case, hang on. I'll go ahead and I'll link them in the chat real quick. I'm going to link this in the chat. I'm also going to throw it in the tech page of the Discord. I found this microphone at the recommendation of a podcaster that I really like, and they have a long blog post that details a lot of different types of microphones for different price points. And I'll throw that in the room there in the Discord as well. There. Along with it has actual audio samples too. So thank you for looking up. You're welcome. Here, that is the blog post. That is a huge blog post. Basically everything you could want to know about microphones and volume samples of them at all kinds of different price points. Super good. But yeah, buy stuff used if you can. Stuff on eBay is, I don't know, for the vast majority of tech stuff, it's like, I don't know, usually pretty okay. Alright, anyways, last call for that bear off quest. Enough talk about I could talk about tech stuff just for hours and hours. I do in the Discord. But I don't want to make this stream all about tech stuff, because it's not really why we're here. You're welcome. Like, I really like talking about tech stuff, but I don't want to, I don't know. It could really... it could overtake some Monster Hunter themed aspects of our stream if I wasn't careful. So, tech and Monster Hunter. Listen to tech stuff you need to learn. I'm also not like, I mean, I've MacGyvered together stuff, but I'm also not like an expert on any of it. So, I don't know. Okay. Let's see what I'm going to use for Hub Baroth. FPS failure. What would you like me to use for leading the charge in the hub? Used to keep up with tech stuff and then you just kind of faded away from it. I've gone through cycles with it, Parsec, where I've paid more attention or less attention to it. Right now I'm paying more attention to it. Gotta get ready for school. See you, Last Need. Have a good day. Thanks for being here, and I hope you genuinely have a nice day at your school. Cheers. Yeah, what's up? What's up, FPS? What would you like me to use? You said you wanted to put more 3DS gameplay on the web in the past. Does that mean we can expect a multiplayer 3DS session at any point? Probably not. I mean, I have the tools to make that work, I think. Huntinghorn, please. It's your favorite Bear-Off matchup? Okay. I have the tools to make that work, where I think you can connect your 3DS to your Wii U and then use the Wii U as an access point to play multiplayer online via your 3DS. But most of our multiplayer streams I've just done on the Wii U so far. I suppose if that's something folks wanted footage of, I could definitely do a multiplayer stream or two from the 3DS itself. This Berry-Off one might be better than our current horn, with its affinity and its attack song and all that green. Maybe. Whatever. What would you describe as the main appeal of learning about and keeping up with the current generations of technology? Does the actual technology keep getting better fascinate you? Is it the practicality of knowing the stuff, the freedom of knowing how to utilize the best stuff? I just really think it's cool. Like, I just really like learning about it. How did I enjoy delivering those eggs? It was fine. That particular quest is not particularly difficult because you can just drop right down the waterfall there. I think it's just really something I'm interested in. I don't know if it's necessary. I don't think I keep up with it from a practical standpoint because I'll learn about stuff just for fun. I have no intention of ever purchasing, touching, or doing anything with. It's just like, it's just fun to learn about. It's just actively something I like learning about. How did I enjoy my non-Ichinose eggs? Just fine because I ate for Lander. Y'all are weird. For those who weren't in the Discord last night, I took the night off streaming. I was doing some other stuff. And I, not awoke, but I came back into the Discord to just people clamoring about some kind of crazy, like, jank, exploit, the craziest thing. Apparently some games use one type of egg inertia and other games use a different type of egg inertia, and folks were really up in arms about it, that like in some games you drop the egg at this height and in other games you drop the egg in this height. Like all caps screaming in the Discord about this. And like, I like some egg quests. I think egg quests are fun. I do them all. But I also bring Transporter and Lander, so I have a good time. Apparently, when I came into the conversation, Quill, they'd already been talking about the eggs and doing egg drop-related testing for over an hour. I'm glad somebody is. Because it ain't me, that's for sure. If y'all want egg drop related testing, not texting, please go follow FPS Failure on Twitch. Parsec, if you could shout out FPS in the chat, that'd be great. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you want egg-related testing, please follow FPS's stream. What are you talking about? I watched you last night. FPS, the Eggmaster. Not only that, the reason why he claimed this was important to him is because one of his favorite things to do in Freedom 1, one of his claims to fame in that game is to do Egg Quest without Backpacker. Even though Backpacker exists in that game, like, FPS is like, you know what I really like? I like the hardest egg torture you can give me. Screw me up with it. So if that sounds like you, if you want some egg torture stuff, go follow FPS Failure on Twitch. MH1 doesn't have Backpacker, but Freedom does. You want to keep it authentic? Then why aren't you playing Monster Hunter 1 FPS? I'm just curious. Yeah, something like that got caught. Authentic does not equal one-to-one just like it. What is the definition of authentic? No, I think the stick controls are neat. How did this turn into you against FPS? I don't know. I was shouting him out because I think that if anybody who is like actually interested in learning about the egg drop heights, they'd probably want to go watch his stream and not mine because I'm not going to be showing that stuff. I don't know if it's an important part of the game, but I think they're good. I think they're cool. I think they make older combat that maybe isn't super interesting on its own a little more fun, a little more interesting. Like maybe if the actual weapon controls themselves aren't super satisfying, having to use the stick controls kind of fills out that experience, I think. You get so many cleansers in the hub version of this quest, it's nice. I didn't paintball the Baroth. I don't know why I'm being lazy with paintballs tonight. It's just that kind of night, I guess. Where did Baroth go? There it is. Wind pressure negate. Oh boy. Perfect for Barrock. Whoops. Oops. Oops, that was supposed to be a back slam. I guess we should be trying to break off his scalp because we don't usually do this fight with impact on. I didn't really think about it, so just now. What's your question, Marks? What's up? Oh, that's okay. So many cleansers. It's always surprising seeing a cat just pull out a bomb like that. Alright, we haven't paintballed this time. It is kind of funny, Quill, isn't it? Oops. Oops. Do you remember feeling when first seeing a monster in a returning game that them being there was a little cursed, like it felt off? If so, what was the most significant case of this? I think I've had that feeling before. I'm trying to think of it. What would be the most off feeling one to me? I don't know. I don't really. I'm sure probably Generations is one of the games that's more ripe for that feeling because it's kind of like dragging monsters from a bunch of different disparate entries into a game that's just kind of a compilation for the sake of compilations, more so than trying to create a game that really holistically has all the monsters in it. So I feel like that's probably the game that has the most of that, even though I didn't personally feel that because Generations was my first game. So it was my first time seeing those monsters. There's like a couple instances where monsters feel a little weird to me in World. Like it's a little weird seeing Glavenus just there. But I don't know. I think all the monsters fit pretty well in that game. Hey, there we go. Whoops. This is a really fun matchup, FPS. Thanks for choosing it. I wouldn't have thought of it, but this feels really fun to me. Probably more fun than Hammer. Hunting Horn's swings are uniquely positioned to just smack around Baroth. This is why you love Baroth. Makes sense. No, he's too slow. So slow. What version of 3U is this? The only one you know is the Wii U and it doesn't look so downscaled. This is on the 3DS. The 3DS version came out before the Wii U version in Japan. It also came out in the US. I'm streaming the 3DS version because I have a 3DS capture card and there isn't much footage of the 3DS version out there, so figured I'd stream it. Welcome, Commando Jack. Whoop. Are we out of those cleansers? We sure are. I didn't learn my lesson. Aw, wanted to hit. Oops. Of course, the last one. Whoops. That was a fun matchup. Thanks, FPS. That scaling to me felt good in terms of the gear we brought and how much damage we did to the Baroth. Did I carve the scalp? I don't know if I did. I did. Nice, that was fun. I think next up we'll probably pick a weapon or two that we want to make tonight and try and make those. We'll take a look at the Rathalos and Barioth and Uragon and Ignactor designs and see if there's anything in particular we want to make in low rank. Nice. All right. I'm going to use the bathroom. When I get back, we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at those weapon designs and see what we want to make. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Enjoy the hub music. Alright, we're back. Let's take a look at some weapon designs. For collecting. Thanks, Digiartist. Alright, first up, Rathalos equipment. That is really tiny, that browser window. Hang on. Oops. Shoot, why did I just move around? Gosh darn it. Didn't mean to move that. Okay. So, Rathalos equipment. Let's look for the 3U version. Let's see, there's a Rathalos Greatsword, several of them. There's a Rathalos Longsword, Sword and Shield, Dual Blades, Hammer, Lance, Gun Lance, and Light Bowgun. How goes 3U? Pretty good tonight, Kazuki. We're doing some hub solos. We're taking a look at some weapons we want to make. I know I want to make Jin because I don't have a good fire sword and shield. Same thing with dual blades. I know I want to make those two. I think we have. I don't know if I think this thing probably rapid fires. Yeah, I think it rapid fires flaming. Yeah, so we should probably make that. Okay, so for the duels, let's go ahead and put in Wrath duels. Jin, SNS. Rathalos Light Bowgun. Do you think that the slow combat of 4th gen is more methodical than 5th gen combat? Yeah, methodical, sure. Which do I prefer? I probably prefer 4th gen combat, but I like 5th gen combat quite a bit, especially when the monster's moveset and scaling is raised up enough to be a big challenge. I think that 5th gen's movement and options make the player really advantageous, like really advantaged. It gives the player a lot of advantages over the monsters, and when the monsters rise to the challenge, it's a really good time. Red Knot. That must be G rank. That's cool. I've never seen that design before. Yeah, that's pretty neat indeed. Yeah, it's G rank. That's cool. I want to make the Wrath Longsword. I just like it. Wrath Longsword. Okay. I think that's all the Rathalos stuff I want to make. Let's see about Barioth. Barioth equipment. Fifth gen stuff, 4th gen stuff. All right, 3 ultimate. We have the Icicle Spike, we have a Great Sword, we have Dual Blades, Hunting Horn, Switch Axe, Lance, Light Bowgun, and Bow. So many. What's the Ice Crest like? 192 attack, 18 ice, 20% affinity is nice. This is not a very good table, but I'm assuming that it has Rapid 2 on Charge Level 1, Pierce 2 on Charge Level 2, Rapid 3 on Charge Level 3, and then Spread 3 if you unlock Charge Level 4. That's a bad table. But Rapid Level 3 with Ice would be nice. It has Power Coating, Sleep Coating, and Paint Coating. That sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I'll put that on there. That table is awful? Yeah. Fandom Wiki is not the best. Barioth Bow. But we're looking at pictures. Or we were looking at pictures. What about the Blizzard Cannon? Oops, that's a picture of the Blizzard Cannon. Excuse me, sorry. I normally try and mute when I sneeze like that, but that one just snuck up on me. Okay, so this one rapid fires freeze shot. Comes with 15% affinity. average recoil and no deviation stuff. That seems like a pretty good gun too. Normal and Pierce. Good Pierce gun and a freeze gun. We'll probably make that. No one's taking care of the wiki. People are taking care of the wiki. It's just, yeah, when they update it for new games, it seems like they don't really care to make sure that the older versions of the wiki still work, which is just a bummer. I think we made the Giganoxite bowgun. I'm actually pretty positive we did. Like I said, it would make me happy to like quit my day job and just make a Monster Hunter wiki, but I don't know if that would be a lucrative enough thing to replace my day job. Probably not. That's probably part of why it's like this. All right, that's Barioth stuff. Are we gonna make anything else? We got the sword and shield, or no? So far we have the light bowgun and the bow. Don't think so? Yeah, I don't think so either. Arsendex. What about the sword and shield? Do we want to make that? What about the dual blades? I feel like the dual blades can't be better than the freaking Lagambi ones, right? Oops. Ugh, I keep screwing up. $266. Oh, these are high rank. Yeah, these are high rank. Oops. Let me double check on these other ones. What about the Blizzard Cannon? That's low rank. Okay. The bow is high rank. Okay, let me take that off there then. Can't make that yet. Wrist poorly formats text live. Alright. Now what about the sword and shield? Oh my gosh, I keep clicking on the pictures. Sword and shield is a low rank one. We can make that. It's a good sword and shield. I don't know if we have an ice sword and shield yet. I don't think we do. Doesn't look like it. Alright. We were just looking at the hunting horn. And the hunting horn looked like it would be pretty promising. Because it has attack boost and a bunch of green. A little bit less raw than our metal bagpipe does, but yeah, like FPS was just saying, look at all this text. What a bummer that it's so messed up like that. Such a bummer. 10% affinity with a bunch of green, though, and attack boost. That's pretty nice. Has both cold cancel and heat cancel built in. And hearing protection small. That'd be a cool one to collect. It seems like a decent horn. I'll put it on there. Barioth hunting horn. We can actually make that one. Alright, let's go ahead and let's take a look at Oregon equipment. Alright. Apparently there is a greatsword, a sword and shield, and a hammer. I had no idea there was a sword and shield. The Gigas Club. Huh, weird. Oh, this is try. Whoops, my bad. Okay, in 3 Ultimate there is a greatsword, a longsword, sword and shield, hammer, a hunting horn, a switch axe, a bow, and a heavy bowgun. Wow. I know about Grongagus. When can you make Brazen Cloud in high rank? It has hidden slime. Looks like most of these are high rank. Yeah. The hunting horn is rarity 3. And it has attack boost. But it's the same raw as our bagpipe, I think. The motor burst is rarity 5. Okay. Not much from Uragon I want right now. Someday. There's an Uragon switch axe? There is, yeah. Someday. Alright, and last but not least, Ignactor. Ignactor has some pretty cool stuff. No, this is another game that doesn't show the designs where they should be. Oh, that's so frustrating. Alright, see, there's no 3 ultimate entry in the wiki for whatever reason, so we're just gonna look at Portable Third. It should be the same. Dancing Flames, Flamestorm, Spiral Heat. These are cool ones. I remember that Switch Axe being good. I really like most of these. I wonder what the Hunting Horn's like in Portable Third. Or, sorry, in 3 Ultimate. We should look these up. In Chronica. Hey Ken, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Dancing Flames is rarity 3. Doesn't have a picture, but we just saw it there a moment ago. 495 attack. So 150 true attack with 12 fire. It's just a cool design. It makes me want to get it. Here for a short stay? Well, welcome. I'm glad you're going good. Flamestorm. I think we looked, and surprisingly the Wraths were better than these at this rank. I know later in the game they probably pull ahead of the Wraths, but not yet. A Flamethrower Gun Lance. Long level 2 with some green. Interesting. That was the shell. What about the hide? Dual Blades, Gun Lance. Longsword. Looks like you might not be able to make the lance or some of the other weapons in low rank. Yeah. My hair's gotten really long. It's been really long for a while. It's just usually up in a hat. I did have it cut earlier this year before I got married. Not like super short, obviously, but I got it cut by a couple inches. It's probably grown back those couple inches now. Alright, well, are we going to make any Ignactor stuff right now? I feel like I want to make the Longsword. I don't know about the Gun Lance or the Dual Blades right now, but the Longsword I've never seen before and I really like it, so I feel like we're going to make the Ignactor Longsword. Hello, Voidning, how's it going? Alright, let's see. What do we want to make from this list right now? I think I want to make another Hunting Horn. So let's go for that Barryoth Hunting Horn real quick. Let's work on that for a little bit. Which probably just means we're going to be doing a village Barryoth, which is fine with me. Let's head back over to the village. How are you all tonight? I'm tired. I stayed up all night last night. But I'm doing okay now. I had a nap, but I'm just still feeling a little bit tired out. Started a fun little project. What's your fun little project, Ken? Alright, for the Barraguidero, we need amber tusks and spikes. Spikes come from breaking his arms, which we should be doing anyways. Cool horn. Yeah, I want to make this. I'll let you guys pick my weapon for a Barryoth next up. Doing good playing GU, hunting Raging Brachydios BRB. Good luck. Designing a home. How so? That sounds like maybe not a little project. Yeah, if you'd like to pick my weapon for a Barryoth, go ahead and type !ticket in the chat. Look at all that Zenny. That's nice. Ooh, we are low on points. That's not good. We haven't done much free hunting in a while. We should end by doing some of that tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of our quality sponges for it, though. We only have 3 of those left. I gotta be careful. Gotta get out there and do some free hunting. Yeah, we're out of perfect paddles, too. Just a design that you can work on in your free time, not actually working project with a deadline. Gotcha. Yeah, I was kind of curious about the same thing that Mark said, like architecture or interior design, or like what aspect of it? Just the whole thing? It sounds like a massive undertaking to me. I wouldn't even know where to start thinking about designing a home like that. I guess you would have to be super duper serious about it, depending on how you're doing it, though. Architecture and the engineering behind it. That's cool. Like I said, I wouldn't have the know-how required to even start. So it sounds like neat, to me at least. Very neat. Okay. Barioth hunt, huh? Well, I just put it away. I think I put away all our steaks. Whoops. Let's use up these rare steaks. I'm gonna go ahead and say last call. Last call for that Barioth weapon raffle. Okay, let's see here. Quill. Quill, what would you like me to use for a Barioth hunt? We've only hunted him a few times here. What is that name? Let me see here. Banana Lola's MD. Or Banana LOL as MD. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Hammer? Nice. Hammer for Barioth it shall be. Is Gunhammer available yet? I don't know. The Rathalos hammer is probably available. Yeah, we can make the Rathalos one. But no Gunhammer quite yet. It does sound like fun, Ken. I don't know Barioth's impact zones. Let's see, for impact zones, his head's a 65, everything else is pretty bad. Tail's okay, back legs are eh. But at least the head's even weaker than cutting damage. And the rule holds true, Marts. Yeah, we gotta do that Uragon quest later. We'll do that probably after this Barioth here. Cheers, Mello. Rest well. Really interesting discussion in Shepherd's chat a couple days ago. What was that? playing with Ryaka last night and we all died to Hyper Celtus. Hyper Celtus sounds pretty, I don't know, buzzy. Aha! This is the first time he's actually spawned here for me. This is not good. This is a pretty poor start. I don't really want to hunt him down here because of the freaking baggy. There we go. Okay. Also, if I get up here, I can eat a nullberry before he jumps on me, I think. Yeah. You don't like Celtus anymore? Aw, well, maybe you'll find a way to like him again someday. I have nights like that where I'm done liking this monster. I'm done enjoying fighting this monster anymore. Alright, we need spikes, so we gotta break those arms. People are up in arms about it. Is that a pun? People were claiming there were 0 leg trips in the game. Those people were being hyperbolic once. They were being people in Shepard's chat. Think about Anjanath. Anjanath has leg trips. Mizu has there's so many monsters that have leg trips. That's just silly. There are a lot of monsters in that game that have leg trips. Rathian and Rathalos have leg trips. What are people on about? That's good to hear. You've played Rise. It's been so long. You always went for the heads. Okay. Whatever. It would be silly. It would be silly if the only place you could trip a monster was by attacking its head. But that's not how it is in Rise. Yeah, me too, Ken. I like that. I was thinking about Anjanath's leg break in Rise. It's a lot easier to pull off than in World, and you get a trip from it, which is nice. I like that it changes the hit zone too. Before that, the hit zone's pretty rough, and after that, it gets a little better. That took a long time, man. Yeah, I don't know, Marks. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they were talking about that there are additions of head trips in that game? I don't know. Leg trips are alive and well, though. I don't know what to tell you, Marts. We can all get confused sometimes. I screwed up how bouncing worked the other night. I feel like people do a lot of mental gymnastics to make themselves sure of the fact that they don't like Rise, but that's just me. It makes me upset, so I try not to pay attention to it. Twomp. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well tonight. This is the Twilight Zone? I mean, like, Marth, think about Rise. Did you ever trip a Rathian by tacking her legs like you can in like every other Monster Hunter game? Because it's in there. Yeah, there are a lot of like leg trips that are also leg breaks in that game, like claw breaks on Mizu or Almudron. Never attacked a Rise Rathian's legs? Okay. I mean, if you had damage numbers on and all you were looking for were those pretty orange numbers, you might never go for the leg trips on certain monsters. Maybe that's why. I don't know. I do not know. It's also just been a while. I know Marks didn't play Rise as long as some other folks did. I mean, they played it about as much as I think the average person did, but I don't know. To not be like, we're talking about Marks, who remembers the exact amount of Zenny and HR points you get for certain quests in certain games, and that person can't remember that there are leg trips in Rise. Like, I don't think you're trolling, Marks. I'm just mystified that you would forget that. That's all. rough. I was literally eating a nullberry to get rid of the ice bite and had it reapplied right afterwards. Picked an amazing time to unmute stream. Hello, Arson guys. Maybe remember some leg trip moments? I mean... Oh man, I'm doing an awful job of fighting this berry off right now. I don't know. Anytime you walk into, I mean, like, anytime you walk into literally any chat, and the whole chat and the streamer are all like up in arms about something, like, I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, totally can. So I get how like somebody could think that if all they'd done was just follow the damage numbers and attack the head, but like to say that like there aren't leg trips in the game is just like weird. Yeah, I'm doing a poor job of hunting this berry off. That just was the exact same interaction playing on twice. Yeah, anywho.
Who wants coffee? I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Does anybody want coffee?
I don't know what to tell you, Max. Oh, that's the wrong way to jump for that move. Who wants coffee? Dude, I would love some coffee right now. I'm pretty tired tonight. I am pretty tired tonight. Still enjoying getting to play some of this game, though. It's been a few days since we last worked on this file and started collecting things. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, Marcus. There are a lot of like I mean, Mizutsune has head trips. There are a decent number of head trips in that game, but I mean, like if you walk into a chat and everybody's like super upset about something and complaining about it, like I would probably take it with a grain of salt. I really should paintball this berry off. I guess what I should really say there is like wherever you walk into, if you're walking into a conversation, there's like a lack of nuance there, either in the description that the people are all up in arms about, or just there's not much back and forth or like differing opinions. Like, I don't know, check it. What have you been playing? Anything in particular, Ken? Nice, Voidning. Nice job. I've never beat the original Raging Brachydios. Well, I guess I haven't beat 4th gen Brachydios at all. Or, sorry, 4th gen Raging Brachydios. Okay, where is this berry off? I thought I knew where he went, but I guess not. These two are nervous. Maybe you went into the cave over here. Just try every area in the entire map. Yeah, here he is. He's cool. Oh, and we got a limp. Nice. Stardew and Elder Scrolls Online, two different kinds of simple, but simple nonetheless. That sounds nice. Stardew Valley is really nice. I've played a little bit of that. I've been thinking about playing some other games recently. Maybe not on stream, but playing some other games off stream in the little time I've got. I thought he was gonna do a fake door. Oh man, dude, the old games you can actually roll the hip checker is the best. Metroid Drive is a blast and really short. It looked nice. If it wasn't as expensive as it is, I would think about it. Nice. No, I've been thinking about playing some Warframe or another space sim like Elite. I don't know why, sci-fi's been in my brain. Warframe seems like an easy one to dip in and be like, I didn't spend any money, I shot some dumb things, now I can dip back out again. Did you see Concerned Ape's new trailer for Haunted Chocolatier? I heard about it, I haven't watched the trailer yet. The SNES Metroid game is a lot of fun. You mean Super Metroid? Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty good game. I'm glad you like it. I've played a little bit of Super Metroid. I've never beaten it. Saw the trailer for Lightyear. I saw that came out. I haven't watched the trailer though. Just wait 20 years when Nintendo's Nintendo Online Super Plus Plus online pack where it's $500 a year for an emulator. Okay. Why did that make you crack up a little? Calling Super Metroid the SNES Metroid is just kind of funny. That's all. It's like one of the... I feel like it's one of the best, like most lauded games of all time, I think. Certainly one of the most lauded Super Nintendo games. So just calling it like the SNES Metroid is just kind of funny to me. That's all. It's like calling Metroid Prime the GameCube Metroid. It's just kind of goofy. Or calling Twilight Princess the Wii Zelda. It's just kind of amusing. That's all. I think we got a couple spikes there. Yeah. Need a few more spikes, but we got the tusks down. How about gin? What do we need to make gin? Rathalos shell. Drop Warframe altogether. Yeah, I've bounced off it several times over. I'm just like in the mood for some sci-fi stuff and thinking about it. Slipping into Warframe and doing like 10 hours of Warframe and being like, I'm good, and leaving sounds nicer to me than like buying Elite Dangerous or buying whatever you need to pay to play Star Citizen. Because those games look neat too, but Warframe is like free and it's like dumb sometimes, but at least I can just like dip in, dip out or something. Warframe has cool stuff, but it's just not worth it overall. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, it's just like the combat depth wasn't there to necessitate like all, like, the universe seems cool and it seems neat to be able to like customize your frames and stuff, but I don't know. You're still just like clicking dudes. Where you're pressing buttons. You're either pressing cooldown buttons or you're clicking dudes. That's kind of it. Yeah, the movement is really good. That's true. I'd kind of forgotten about the movement, to be honest. That's kind of why I wanted to check it out, is I have a monitor that can do 120 frames per second, and I feel like Warframe at 120 frames would feel like really nice. So I might try it out still. Did you ever get around to trying Halo on a new PC? I didn't. I still need to. I was thinking about it. Thinking about playing some Halo. All right. Warframe's an old game, so it's actually pretty easy to run. Yeah, that was part of the thinking too. It's my favorite intellectual property. Yeah, I think so too, Ken. That and it being free is like, I don't know. I kind of just know that if I know whatever game I pick up, I'm not going to play a lot of, so spending money on the game makes not much sense to me. Oh, this is a long gun lance. I thought it was a normal gun lance. I'd forgotten. That's okay. This should be a fun hunt. I want to make Jin, so I'm going to go out here and fight a Rathalos. I actually forget what material I needed for Jin, which is kind of silly. Shell. That's just killing Rathalos. Okay. Nothing too specific there. It's feeling nice to kind of move into this game in the way that, like, I've spent a decent chunk of time with it now. We're starting to collect up decent weapons. I've gotten to grips with the weapons, I think, in most of their contexts. If you want sci-fi, the light game that's kind of fun and simple to just jump into for a bit, highly recommend Risk of Rain 2. I saw that on sale the other day, and I knew you guys really enjoyed playing it, so I thought of you guys. Hello, Pelosa. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. I guess it's weird. I'm like not even in the mood for just a game that is themed sci-fi. I want to go to like a sci-fi world, which is why Warframe or Elite or Star Citizen sounds kind of like appealing. How do I feel about RTS? I like them, but I haven't played one in a long time. And I know Star Citizen, I've been saying this on stream, I know Star Citizen is like a giant scam, but I still just kind of want to try it. It seems like a cool scam. No Man's Sky. You know what? That might be a really good compromise, Harurush. You know, that might actually be that might be it. I think you just got it, Harurush. I think you just hit the nail on the head. That game's not too complex mechanically that I couldn't frickin' like jump in and jump out. It's probably not that expensive because it's super old. You get to fly around and visit planets and build bases. That might be it. Where is this Rathalos? Playing Hyper Light Drifter in the game's combat is really impressing you. I played that a long time ago. I forget if I played a demo or the full game. I think that actually might be exactly it, what I would like to play, Harurush. So I think I might pick that up. I've been thinking about it for a while. Okay, these are now worried. So Rathalos is either in 5 or 3. We just came from 5, so he's probably in 3. Oh, I think I just heard him flying. Yeah, here he is. Okay, we found him. Wait, is it really Harush? How much is it now? $30? That's still pretty expensive, but I'll think about it. That's kind of in line with the game, with what I was thinking about playing. And like, it's not that expensive for a game. It's just like, I don't know. I know I'm not going to play that much of every game I try, so I'm trying to keep it like cheap. I know I'm only going to have time to play a little bit before I play Monster Hunter, so. I tried. I went for it. Robo Galaxy, I feel like I've played that a long time ago now. Gunlance is so much fun in the old games, man. Just so good. Oh, I'm probably not going to stream the game we're talking about. This is something I'm probably just going to play off stream. I don't know if I like streaming things on Twitch that aren't Monster Hunter. Mark's right about Empire at War. I'm kind of looking for a game that's like a little newer so I can enjoy playing it on my PC. But, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if you saw what you recommend, but it isn't a game enjoyed in short bursts. Yeah, that's a long session kind of game. I don't think I'm probably going to put more time into whatever game we're talking about than like maybe a few days once. Which is why I'm like, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it. That's all. That's all. Like, I know it's a game I'm probably not going to finish. I don't play other games. What was the name of it, Marks? I was thinking about Doom Eternal Hot Pocket. I've kind of been waiting for it to go on sale. I like Doom a lot. I liked Doom 2016 a lot. So that might be it as well. It's just expensive is all. One too many hits there. Would my parents approve of Doom? I feel like if you're asking about just parents because it's violent, I don't know, but parents because it's like, I don't know. Growing up, probably not. Even though they were pretty conservative Christian parents, they probably wouldn't have been okay with a game that gory, even if I was like, but I'm slaying demons, Mom! Destiny 2 is free to play? Oh, it is? I forgot about that. That's dangerous. I feel like if I was gonna do that, I would probably just play Warframe. Thanks for the suggestions, though, folks. It's kind of silly. Like, I don't know. If I'm listing off reasons why I will or won't play something, I feel kind of bad because it's not like I'm trying to like dump on anybody's suggestion. It's just like I know I'm gonna play like 5 hours of this game once, and that's it. So it's like I probably shouldn't spend any money on it. I get really bored with games that aren't Monster Hunter. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. There it is. Alright, he's going up to 8. How would you define sci-fi? I don't know. Love Monster Hunter and respect your opinion, but sometimes you don't understand me. It's not like I objectively think that all their games are bad to play or something. I play them and they're not Monster Hunter and they don't scratch the same itch. I'm like, well, guess it's back to Monster Hunter. It's not even like I hold the opinion that you shouldn't play other games or that I shouldn't play other games. I'd like to play other games, but they're not Monster Hunter and I get bored. So I come back here and then I enjoy using 3rd generation Gunlance's charged shells and slam into Wyvern Fire and just it's so much fun. Earth Defense Force. You're not bored of Tetris? I don't play it very much, though. You thinking of Phantasy Star Online? Dauntless? Dauntless isn't sci-fi, is it? Earth Defense Force does look pretty campy. I do like camp. That's true, Marks. I might like Earth Defense Force. Oops. Yikes. Oops. Darn, missed those swings. That feels bad. Oh no, Parsec, what is it? Oh, it's an artist's interpretation of a Mecha Narga. That's just like No Man's Sky, isn't it? Or not No Man's Sky, Horizon Zero Dawn, the other 3-word sci-fi game. Whoops. I would not particularly like a sci-fi Monster Hunter. I think I'm probably hankering for some sci-fi because Monster Hunter is so decidedly not that. Ugh. Ugh. No. No. Stunned? Nope, not stunned. Oh god. Panavra's like, stunned? You want to be stunned? Ugh, just eating so many fireballs. And he's definitely weak. Maybe we can wake him up with a slam to his tail. What's that PS3 shooter with the Rathalos armor? I don't know if I know of a PS3 era shooter that has Rathalos armor in it. The Last of Us does not have Rathalos armor in it. Have you played it, Martz? Have you played The Last of Us? Not asleep. Maybe you already slept. Lost Planet 2. Oh. Is that live? I feel like that was an always like wasn't that like an always online game? Oh, I think I'm talking about Plant Side? Could be. Dead Space was good. That's probably why they picked it for the cover, J Novice. I just want the tail cut. Let's head back to 8. This is taking a little longer than I thought it was going to, but probably just because right now I'm trying to cut his tail so doggedly. If I was just blowing him up with shells, he'd be dead already. How would you describe Portal in one prolonged word? One prolonged word? Three dashes, multi-dimensional puzzle. That's prolonged. Would you say it's awesome? Yeah, I liked Portal. No! Gosh darn it, I was just trying to do a freaking poke. There it is, okay. Am I missing a reference, Marks? Was I supposed to say cake? Haha, funny. We just dodged with the Wyvern's Fire. Oh, didn't I write a review of it? You can't reference old Steam reviews that I made when I was like 13 and expect me to remember them, Marks. How did you forget that Rise had leg trips when you can remember that I wrote a one-word Steam review of the game Portal on my old Steam account? What is wrong with you? We joked about it last week. Okay. I feel like the relative obscurity of a random Portal Steam review from the year like 2014 probably, I don't know, just, it's ridiculous. Rathalos likes his fireballs in this game. Should probably not die. Not again, at least. See, if I'd used wide gun lance, this would have been all over already. Alright, good night, Ken. I hope you do have a good week, friend. Gun lance is cool. Exploding a Banobber with a shell is very satisfying. Would recommend. Would recommend. I don't know if we got any of the shells that we needed. Maybe that's something you're supposed to capture them for. Let's go see if we can make gin. We have 4 of our 5 shells that we need. That's kind of frustrating. Oh well. Let's go ahead and let's do another Uragan. There's an Uragan quest that unlocked in the village after our first time through Uragan, and I didn't feel like doing it. Oops. Didn't feel like doing it immediately when we unlocked it, so I'll let you guys pick my weapon for that. Okay. So, if you're here at this nice late hour of the night and you'd like to choose my weapon for an Uragan quest, go ahead and type !ticket in the chat. Is it the capture Uragan? It might be? I don't know. Let's see. Uragan's Trail. It is capture an Uragan, yeah. It is an Uragan capture quest. What weapons have you used against Uragan so far? Just hammer. Yep, just hammer so far. When you're saying light bad gun, you are really in the mood against light bowgun, dude. I guess I'm confused why having so many choices and options for different light bowgun sets pisses you off so much. It means that, like, you can make a lot of different light bowguns viable because you've got so much freedom to build different sets. And there isn't one optimal set that everybody makes. I don't know, I feel like that's a good thing. That's only a good thing. Not gonna wait too long here. I'm gonna go ahead and say last call for that Uragan weapon raffle. If you want to pick my weapon for our second ever Uragan in this game, go ahead and type !ticket. I mean, they do sort of J-Novice, but it's just the same system they've had before where you can swap on and off power barrels and stuff like that. World is a pretty interesting mod system. Haven't played with it too much yet. Okay, let's see here. Mark's tip. Does that mean it's light bowgun time? It's already daunting to officially tackle a new weapon. Haven't you played light bowgun in 4U before? I've witnessed you play light bowgun in 4U and make 4U light bowgun sets. I'm so confused, Marths. Are you in GU or something? Let's look at Uragan's shot type hit zones. Okay. So we have Uragan and Uragan. We have 2 damage charts here. I'm not totally sure why. Looks like maybe it's just the head that changes once you break its head. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's just the head. I don't know why they need to make a whole different chart just for the head there, but... He's weakest to water and dragon, followed by ice. And then as far as where the actual shot type damage is weakest, it's his belly. He's fairly weak to water there as well. Yeah, it's pretty rough, isn't it, Parsec? I'm just confused because, like, I've witnessed, like, 4U and GU are not that different in terms of gunning from what I can tell. Like, you've got different styles and you've got, like, a different, like, there's a different meta in GU, but they're pretty similar to one another. I can't understand why you'd be, like, okay and cool with light bowgun and 4U and then be like, GU light bowgun, that's just too out there, man. I mean, I know they're way different, but, like, I don't understand being, like, okay with one and not the other. Oh, this is all in 4U? I thought I've witnessed you make 4U light bowgun sets and enjoy them in the past. I'm confused. This is all in 4U? Okay, I'm very confused. I was under the impression you made a lot of light bowguns in that game and used them a lot before. Confused by you, Marks. Hello, Zora P. Welcome. Thanks for the follow. We are about to hunt an Uragan with light bowgun. I think it should be fun. And I need more gunning. I need more gunning experience in this game, so I'm pretty pleased about it. Pierce could be really good for Uragan. I guess the advice I would give you from my time with 4U's gunning and G-Rank marks is that it's important to get a setup that's, like, decent. But at a certain point, it's just going to be more about you getting used to hunting the monster safely and getting in as much damage uptime as possible from whatever your shot selected is. More so than optimizing the crap out of your set skills, I think. I felt like I went back and forth with that a lot in the game of just, like, dealing with trying to make the exact right set and knowing that my set should be decent but still having trouble, and then realizing that it was all about landing way more shots than I had been. If that makes sense. Alright, and this is a capture quest, so let me make sure I bring some capture gear. I think that, I mean, Adrenaline can have some synergy in G rank because you're getting hit so much, but that means that you're playing in one-shot range all the time. It's not something I would recommend if you don't feel comfortable with the weapon. I'll put it that way. I think that would make it pretty rough. Oops, I already ate. Okay, Uragan's Trail. I've read of a large beast in the volcanic region with a prominent jaw. I could build a career around such a creature. Even a partial specimen would do. Get to gathering, hunter. Oh, my wit knows no rival. Alright, brainy biologist. Remember the black leather chaps? Vaguely, yeah, why? Is that a lot or a little, Martz? It's about 30 divine armor spheres. Aren't you? I would not advise upgrading a gunner set super duper far. Not unless you're going to be using it for a lot of different things. Because I mean, like, you're already not going to want to get hit. But that is a lot of armor spheres. Like, I know that sounds dumb, like you're not going to want to get hit, but with gunning, especially when you start learning a fight, you really won't be getting hit as much as you might think. Speaking of, let's see how we deal with learning Mr. Uragan here. He was rolling and then he stopped. Hello, Kaze. How's it going? Ooh. That chin, though. Another day, another step towards finishing high rank. Nice. We just started soloing low rank hub today. We're also working on rounding out some of our last to-dos in village. But we're just about done with low rank village entirely, which feels good. It was IDEO. Thanks for the follow. Welcome. Hope you're doing well tonight. Sounds exciting. It's been a good time. We hadn't played this game in a day or two. It feels comfy. I'm really enjoying kind of just spending my time in this game. Easy chin break. Ouch. That damage, though. Spooky. Didn't work. I was kind of betting on that. This isn't going to be worth it, but whatever. The 2-shot pierce 1 clip. That's the big damage deal you do with your para. Alright, we're going to switch to rapid normal too, I think, for the rest of the time here. Now that we've gotten that chin break. For you, bowgun feedback, it's pretty bad. It's a bummer that there's no screen shake like in 4th gen. For you, bowgun feels excellent. For you, bow and bowgun feel amazing to me. They might be my favorite versions of those weapons. Oops. Especially with the limiter and everything. Oops, it helps if you have bowgun ammo loaded. Here he goes! I feel like in this game, I feel like bonus shot fits into the pace of the game even in G rank. Good luck and for you. Whoops. That was kind of dumb. Whoops. Oh, he's leaving. This is an interesting matchup. The water was super nice for breaking his chin. Are you still doing the full set monster challenge in portable third? I just don't have time for day streams at all, ever. That was during a brief period of time where I was not working full time, and I had time for day streams, and that was a nice thing to put in day streams. So no. I wish I had more time to stream. Whoops. Sign a contract with the Mixer? I think they're gone, dude. I don't think anybody's offering me any contracts anyways. Plus, for all its problems, I feel like Twitch is the best place to watch video games being streamed for a lot of games and a lot of people. So I'd like to be here if I can. Oof. Oof. Woo. Spooky with that one. I watched a clip earlier of somebody in 3U fighting an Uragan with hammer. They were KOing the thing when it stood up to get out of their range, and a Ruktor came up out of the floor and KO'd the Uragan for them. Like, it gave them the final hit they needed of impact, I guess, to KO it. It was bizarre. I don't believe I would be offered any such a contract. Oh my gosh. Awful shots. Awful, awful shots. That is such a big tremor. Bringing a good Pierce gun to this fight and breaking his chin before firing Pierce down the length of him would actually be really good. How do you feel about a Vague Extender on light bowgun? Never necessary. I don't know. I mean, like, if it makes you more comfortable in outranging the monster and getting to the critical distance you need, especially if it's like a monster that's really aggressive and is trying to keep you in range the whole time, that can be helpful, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's ever necessary. I feel like even on heavy bowgun, it's optional in a lot of matchups. For light bowgun? Light bowgun doesn't need any points in. Nice marks. I know that when you get used to it on a weapon, it can be pretty rough getting used to it without it. Get the sick back hop iframe and then miss the shot. Classic. I don't think that hit at all. This is a capture quest, I gotta remember that. Okay, he's limping. Cool, perfect. Then let's cap him. Very cooperative bird, huh? Nice, Skiffy. Hey, Arcane. Okay. It kind of does, doesn't it? We just fought one earlier tonight, Skiffy. Poorly. What? I want to do some more gunning. I'm going to gun Rathalos. 4 lava nuggets from the same hunt is not bad. That's true, we did. Game changer could be a problem if we were in high rank, but we're not. Okay. This might be one of my last hunts for the night. I want to go ahead and see if I can craft the Jin sword and shield tonight. That would feel good to me. Yep, very healthy meal, Arcane. Very healthy meal. Alright, these monsters are not afraid right now, which means that Rathalos is likely up towards his nest. What meal do you have to eat in real life for those boosts? I think people say like what? Like spinach? Kale? Those are superfoods? Whatever superfoods are, Arcane. Probably those. Seaweed? Yeah, seaweed's supposed to be a superfood, isn't it? I don't know. Sounds like he just dipped right out of here. Okay, let's head down to 5 and see if he's there. Yeah, he's heading down to 5. I can see his shadow. We can catch him out there. No roar. I would just say pick a gun that's got solid, like one solid rapid fire that can be useful on a lot of monsters marks. Pick a set that boosts raw damage and go to town. Just make a comfy, like, general purpose set and then go from there. Okay, game. feel like if you can acknowledge that like you're not in the mood to collect them all without having a setup that works for the gun marts, then like I feel like you shouldn't work on those guns until you've got like a nice comfy general purpose bowgun you can use for anything. I don't know. Or like if you're not in the mood to play light bowgun or collect light bowguns, don't? I don't know. Is that a Jaggy gun? Nope, this is the Gobble gun. Rapid fire is normal 2 and para. Looks like I forgot to restock my herbs. At least I restocked the bullets. I wish that was the case, Marts, but from what I recall, different elements have like a slightly easier or harder time getting that skill. And you'll probably also want sets based around the shot types, or at least a general purpose set based around just comfy shot types, whether it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I remember it being somewhat difficult to set build like the total element up combined with the total shot type up for like Pierce or normal up. Some were like really expensive together, whereas some were easier to make. It's a little bit frustrating. Welcome back, Shadow upon the Tempest. We're hunting another Rathalos. I don't think you can raise your spirit gauge with the bomb pro cal. Maybe if you use that attack and use that attack from the bomb and then hit a monster with it at the same time. I've seen people use that light barrel bomb strat, or small barrel bomb strat to wake up monsters with the counter slash. Gobble gun's powerful. It's nice. Marts, I would advise you to just make a general purpose set that'll work for the vast majority of those guns. Whether it's like an element attack up set instead of a fire attack +2, even though that's inferior, like make one set that works for all of them, or make a couple sets that works for all of them if you're not feeling like making all those, and then make those specific sets when you feel like you have a matchup that requires it, or when you feel like you just feel like in the mood to do that. Is Glacial Ignactor in this game? Yeah. It was added in Portable 3rd and then brought over to this game. I would say, especially if you're feeling how you're feeling, Marks, really just make 1 or 2 guns that you think is going to be fun to use on a lot of different monsters and make 1 or 2 sets. Do not pick out 8 guns and make 8 sets. Or else you're going to run into the freaking, like, Cult to Roth Siege, like, why do I have to grind up all these options before I can hunt anything? Like, that's just not fun. Don't do that to yourself. Only do that when you're in the mood. Ugh. This hip aim. Hit the wing. I could have done it. Range combat in older games doesn't look as good as it does now. No, it doesn't. It's a little clunkier. I still think it's fun. Their transition to making the controls more suited for, like, dual stick analog control, because the controllers now have dual stick analog control, is pretty nice. Like, it plays more like a third-person shooter now because they have the actual controllers to do so. Back when these controls were architected, both the PSP and the 3DS didn't have a second stick, so you couldn't really make it work just like a regular shooter can. Now that you're on like the Xbox and the PlayStation and the Switch, where you've got full-on controllers, you can really do some nice stuff with the aiming controls, especially gyro on the Switch. I never want another monster to get that doesn't have that. Hello, Wizsora. What's up? Not too much. A little sleep deprived, playing some Monster Hunter. Getting some dunks on Rathalos. Don't worry, Wizsora. You're all good. You're all good. Why so, fish? What brings them to an end? I think we needed a shell. We have not gotten a shell yet. Hopefully we'll get one of the rewards. Don't want to get one shot by G-rank monsters. That is very fair. Stream ending? I think I might end a little early tonight. I'm pretty tired. We didn't get the shell we needed. What a bummer, man. That was a nice Rathalos hunt, at least. Got our light bowgun number on our guild card up a little bit. Yep, it's about an hour earlier than we normally end, so normally we'd do another hunt or two, but I think I'm going to call it there for the evening. I didn't sleep at all last night, and so I need a little bit of extra rest tonight, I think. Play some Freedom. I know you love that game. No, we're not doing that game tonight, that's for sure. It was a nice Monster Hunter stream. Nice to get back to the stream after having to take a night off last night. Let's see. We'll be back tomorrow with, I think, more of this game. We're just going to keep on doing this for a while, clearing through some of those low-rank hub solos. We did a couple monsters today, collecting up some more weapons, and enjoying some of the fights that we haven't fought too much yet. We didn't do too many Rathalos, Uragan, Ignactor, or Barioth yet, so we'll keep working on those ones. Fight Safi Jiva to help you go to sleep. I liked that hunt. Have a good night. You guys too. If it's anyone's first time by the stream and you liked it, and you want to watch some more gradual, slow run of 3U, you can go ahead and type !ticket. Wow, I'm really tired. You can go ahead and follow the stream, not ticket. Ticket is for when we're choosing weapons for hunts. There are some links in the chat to things you can follow if you'd like to. I'm gonna find somebody to raid here, and we're gonna go ahead and give them a raid. I'm really tired. I apologize, you guys. Yeah, just type !ticket if you want to follow the stream. That's not how that works. Alright, who are we gonna raid? I think tonight we're gonna go ahead and jump into Schmo Monhun's 4 Ultimate stream. They're playing some Gunlance in 4 Ultimate, which is one of my favorites. So let's go ahead and give them a raid. If you want to stick around and watch one of the very best incarnations of Gunlance in one of the very best Monster Hunter games, then feel free and stick around. Say hello to Schmo, give him a follow if you'd like to. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Monster Hunter. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more well-rested tomorrow, so I'm not misspeaking our chat commands at random times. Oh man, I hope you guys have a nice one. Happy hunting if you're going to play Monster Hunter. Best of luck with your light bowgun set smarts, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Good night. Have fun over at Schmo's. See you.